We value the invitation to share with you our experiments with no violence and the seed of peace that have borne with fruit in our consciences. We are encouraged to feel accompanied in the constructive process to keep fighting of more human culture, more disobedient to human orders, more loving and active attitude. My name is José Aldair Murillo Brizuela. I'm 33 years old. I'm from Honduras. In October 2016, it was the last time I left my country.
¿Y por qué saliste de tu país la primera vez que saliste?
I have always been in danger in my country because of maras and gangs, by the criminal organization over there.
¿Cómo ha sido tu vivencia aquí en México? ¿Has sufrido violencia?
He sufrido golpes, intentos de
Yes, blows. There are people who want to kill me. Once perhaps for wanting easy money, wants to kill you.
Dinero fácil, ellos lo dicen a matar a uno.
My name is Maritza. I left El Salvador on November 12. I came with my children. Why I left my country? It was because of the threats, problems. Being young, it's a crime today.
El Salvador fue por amenazas y por en mi país el ser joven es un delito hoy. Me vine a emigrar porque llevaba el sueño americano, no tanto por el sueño americano, sino por
I came to migrate not so much because the American dream, just to protect my children. We came walking and we had a serious problems. That's why we have been here in the refugee since January.
Por el cual estamos aquí en el albergue desde enero y pues no ha sido fácil, pero bueno,
It has not been easy trying to go to the United States. Involved a lot of risk from rape, abuse, robbery, a lot of things, even leaving you in your underwear. That's what happened to my minor son, 17 years old, in November.
Bueno, eso fue lo que sucedió con mi hijo, menor de edad, de 17 años, en noviembre. Los detuvimos.
We could not longer continue because they stole our money, made us undress.
Hicieron que los desnudáramos.
¿Por qué quieres ir a Estados Unidos?
Por muchas razones, una por la
For many reasons, one of the safety of my children, two for start again, recover that we had and we don't have anymore, and then see if we can stay to live there and see what we can make a new life, start again.
Empecemos una nueva vida, empezar de nuevo.
Yo me llamo Billy y puedo caminar en la vía del tren.
My name is Billy and I can walk on the tracks of the
¿Y
train.
cuántos años tienes?
5.
Cinco.
Muy bien. ¿Y quieres caminar seguro por las vías del tren?
Sí.
Yes.
¿Nos mandas unos saludos?
A mí me gustaría que se denunciara para que se supiera realmente cuántos desaparecidos.
I would like for this to be reported, so everyone can know how many missing people there are. That should be ends, because it's too much. We cannot keep in living with that fear that the authorities install up on us. Following the disappearance of Israel, the first thing it is found in the Mexican institution is the indifference, that way of criminalize people who disappear, and they argue. He must have been involved in something, and they don't do anything to look after them. It is like a drop of water that is constantly falling, day and night, without a rest.
Es como una gota de agua que está cayendo constantemente, día y noche, y no hay descanso para esto.
también fue activista social porque estuvo participando en un colectivo que se formó aquí.
He was also a social activist because he was participating in a group that was forming here, within the university, by fellows working of the ESME. He was involved in some political activities in favor of the dismilitarization of the country. They conducted some activities. He was very versatile because he did also plastic art. He was a carpenter, a baker, he did everything that could be done with his hand. Everything he wanted to do it, he did it. There is a series of irregularities in all this, both from the investigation conducted by the general officer and from the procedures that have been conducted. 2 years in and I haven't seen any declaration by human rights. This has led me to demonstrate myself in my way, to act in my way, rallies or march.
¿Quiénes fueron? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué a mis hijos?
Who were they? Why? Why did it happen to my children who stay inside their house, resting in a safe place? These questions are still open. My family, their friends, and mainly me, and people who didn't know them, we keep asking ourselves these questions.
Y gente que aún no los conoció, igual.
The silence all around the neighborhood, around the house. Sometimes I don't know if it intimidates or makes me want to go outside. Sometimes I get it all. Anger, fear, despair.
Y a veces me da todo. Coraje, miedo, desesperación.
And I know that nothing and no one is going to take it from me. But I'm going to keep fighting so that the murderer fall, so that the murderer don't kill again.
Para que los asesinos no vuelvan a matar.
Currently, in Mexico there are high levels of violence. According to social organization from 2006 to 2016, more than 200,000 dead. Around 30,000 missing and hundreds of thousands disappear are calculated. Our streets are militarized. We are living in a war, in the middle of clandestine rapes, feminized and juvenile years. The widespread fear that we live every day causes a tendency to keep us in our homes and ourselves, and prevents coexistence and social organization needed to cope and build more just and supporting social relationship, in which predominates cooperation, mutual support, and autonomy. In this situation, to observe and draw attention to the many expressions of violence, we have built a workshop program with the intention of generating small breaks in the way of relating and promote values to disarm the culture of violence, in which we have promoted a culture of peace. Well, the workshop aimed to trigger a long-term process that the people involved could continue. During these sessions, we reflect on experiences of a specific situation of the participant in order to become aware of them, and each of us are involved in this construction and this transformation. The theme of peace and of violence of the National Autonomous University of Mexico was developed during the course of Culture of Peace and of Violence taught by the teacher Pietro Ameglio in early 2014. The group is made up of artists and students of different degrees as pedagogy, Latin American studies, philosophy, and intercultural development and management. Our process has not been easy. It started from the proposal to participate in the Memory and Tolerance Museum to mark the 3rd anniversary of the movement to peace with the justice and dignity in May 2014. The process of selection of topics to be addressed in the workshops, as well as the methodologies, planning and organization of the teams, was made according to the various topics of interest and personal experiences. The work was developed with the intentions of sharing in amount in order to provide feedback. It was revealing to us our disordered thoughts and making visible our success and failures, which will be making the necessary adjustments and modifications. Community work and social intervention has almost always been perceived in a paternalistic and assistential way. We seek to construct in a different way, based in a collective construction of knowledge, to develop listening, understanding among several parties, teamwork with tasks, and rotating roles as we foster horizontal and unified relationships. Our most recent fight one was the approval of the PAPIME research project, called Workshop Program for a Culture of Peace and of Violence, alternative towards a transformation of the social dynamics of violence at the UNAM. For this academic space, we formalize and deepen the construction of knowledge, and we seek to generate a publication material that's ever to share that we have learned in this way. In order to continue to extend this culture of peace towards a more human world, we have been able to share our concern and reflection toward different geographies with much volunteer effort. So without the workshop, we have been in different spaces within the Mexico City, Morelos, Querétaro, and Oaxaca. Some of us is forming in India, Spain, and collaborating with other organizations in Cuba and Brazil. In the same way, the culture we want to share has been woven in different groups, with a more focused work and more specific form of violence. This group of women was founded in 2015. The name was built from the initial of the founding members, in the result of being every Tuesday building other ways of relating. We believe in horizontal relationship. The road has been complex after almost 2 years of building networks and tight authority and respect. We work in Tepito, a neighborhood with a very high level of insecurity and violence in Mexico City. It is integrated by 9 women, single mothers, and victims of gender violence. We want to empower ourselves and the community. More women who want to build other possible worlds, other ways of existing, practicing, and recreating a culture of peace and no violence through the participation of each. Among the things we have done is to listen to us, raise the voice, and write together a book. This is our voice and this is our history. Made it with the support of CEPAC Mexico. Nos Hacen Falta is a collective organization formed in the beginning of 2015. We demand the presentation with life, true, memory, justice, reparation of damage, and guarantee of no repetition for students, former students, workers, and academics of the UNAM that have been victims of murder and disappearance in this war. We wanted to begin with our student center, but with the intention that the process should resonate in other universities, and in that way also seek to articulate to think together how the university communities, with all the moral and political force with they count, we can contribute to deep social transformation. Leer para Vivir en Paz is a project that seeks to raise awareness about the fear as a protective factor for the transformation into a creative attitude, using literature as a pretext. All through, it has worked in primary and secondary schools, and the time in the project as a man and a people in detention, with men, women, and children between 14 and 18. We would like to continue forming ourselves as a collective, both in our internal decision-making processes, as in the continuously learning in other spaces, such as Summer Peace Building course in Monterrey, USA, the Seminar on Non-Violence in India in Guarapat, Valladolid, and in the Escola in Sao Paulo in Barcelona, Spain.
Vamos.